broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, hello, syndicates. It's season 2, episode 15. Guys, I really like this episode.
Good.
Yeah.
How much do you like it?
I really like it.
That's a good theme to your speaking right now. It's very, my heart's jumping.
As we know, I wasn't crazy about last week's episode, so I really needed to love this one, and I did. I'm so excited. We'll get to it. Let's do some quick intros. I'm Jeffrey Masters, a tweet from Jeff Masters1.
I'm Micheal Andrew. You can find me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL.
I'm Tauri Miller. You can find me at TauriJ, TauriJay.
And I'm Roxy Striar, and you can find me at Roxy Striar. I wish the music was still going.
That's pretty good.
That was a really short song. Roxy's also going to be manning the chat.
I'm in here right now. You guys crush it in here every single week. In case you don't know what we're talking about, 9 p.m. on Tuesdays Pacific time, we go live. So if you want to join us on YouTube, here we are.
You can also tweet with us during the week. You can subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, leave us comments there. We love hearing from you. I want to do a little something different for this week. I don't want to discuss the episode. Just kidding. No, I want to discuss the very last moment. So we finally get the identity of Zoom revealed, and it's Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to Tauri.
Mm-hmm.
Tauri. You called it.
Okay.
Explain in
pretty good.
English.
You've been predicting this from day one.
Yes. We still have a few more mystery pieces of it in that, like, how did J1 become J2? Or, like, how are there two Js?
Possibly 3 Js.
That's true.
Possibly
I still
4
think
Js.
that, like, he split apart. I mean, there's also a chance that the J that we saw on Earth 1 that goes to that park every day was Zoom. So there's that chance as well. There's so many different things, and it's so intriguing and exciting.
So much excitement.
I agree with everything you said about excitement, although I cannot imagine Zoom taking off his suit and putting on this tie and journaling in the forest just for them to come and watch.
What?
Well,
why
maybe.
not? I mean, it's reconnaissance of Earth 1.
I don't know. I just think it's I don't have anything factually to back it up. I just can't imagine him as a character making that choice and carrying it out. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
I can totally see it. I think he's calculated, manipulative.
Does that mean that RJ was in on it? Because what did Zoom say today? He said, well, this wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah, RJ?
RJ, sorry.
RJ, yeah.
RJ.
He said this complicates things, or this makes things complicated.
Yes.
This is a complication.
Yes.
A complication.
Which is the most confusing part of all of this. What?
Because
what exactly is a complication?
He grabbed Jay.
That you killed Jay? That's the complication? You did that. You didn't find him dead, so I'm just baffled by this.
Maybe he needs him alive.
Yeah, but
Maybe
he killed him. He did it.
And he pulled him through.
I was completely, when it ended, I was just completely confused. The first thing I tweeted was, all right, well, I don't know what's going on now. I mean, all of my theories are done. I don't understand. I'm just...
Chaos Magician 777 in the chat says
the
guy in the mask is the real Jay.
So what's going
on? Real
on?
Jay, please stand up.
I mean, 69B says, is the guy in the metal mask also Jay? Did Zoom make copies of himself?
Oh god.
Is there any
clones?
Can you explain? Sorry, excuse me. Sorry. Can you explain any precedents there is in the comics for splitting apart, as you theorized earlier?
Did you say a heart or a part?
A part.
I don't know why I can't. Our Jay.
Yeah. Everyone's broken hearts. I can't think of any instance where a person has split apart. We know that that velocity, that whole solution has negative ramifications that we haven't really seen yet.
Yeah.
So knowing that Jay has had earlier version that had issues, we could assume that that is our precedent in that we know that the complications have to be there, and then they could have manifested themselves in splitting him apart, and that could be why there are complications in that. If they are two halves of a whole, having your other half dead kind of makes things a little more difficult.
Totally.
Okay, there's a lot of expansion on that in here. Alastair Allen says E1J equals Zoom, E2J equals Our J, E2 Hunter equals Iron Mask, E1 Hunter equals Park Bench Guy, Jay and Hunter are separated twins. Ronald also says twins on both Earths.
Wow. I don't think that our Jay was evil and or in on it. I think he has had too many opportunities to like kill Barry if that was his goal.
Well, that's what they're saying, I think. That
Well, wasn't the goal from the get-go just to steal his speed? Right?
Yeah,
It wasn't to kill Barry, so I think him being on the inside, if he is in on it with Zoom, was just to find a way to steal Barry's speed, so it could be that.
I just don't think that's the case.
it will be very, very confusing if there are four.
I'm already confused.
The four identical, one actor, four characters, and two Earths. That will be a lot to handle.
But that's an Emmy nomination, though. I'll tell you that much. No.
I don't want to like nitpick the last episode. I still feel the need to have a point. After the man in the iron mask said Jay, I needed him to point to like himself, to Zoom off in the distance, like not on camera, to point somewhere. He said Jay, and it says Jay what?
Well, I think this was fulfilling that in that he was essentially saying Zoom is Jay because they share the same face.
I guess I agree with that. I think I just want him to be more helpful.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree with
he
I
like
agree with Jeff on
breathes
that.
on the glass.
To the comment earlier about this being, he had so many opportunities to show the real himself, Mateo says he's playing the long game, which would be a very Zoom-like thing to do. If RJ is Zoom or is bad, then this is, of course, the longest of the long games.
But within a long game, you take advantage of opportunities when they come up, and I think that they would have been presented.
Let me go take a nap. Right as Zoom comes, things like that.
Yes, that's very true.
I'm just thinking about like one-on-one time with Barry.
Trying to find Velocity 9, pretending with Caitlyn, hey, I don't really want this, making her find more, stronger, better.
I also had to remind us that it's like episode 15. We're not anywhere like near conclusion. You know, for this season. Does anybody have any pressing theories they need to mention before we move on to this episode on the whole?
So, do we think the Jay that's been with Barry this whole time, are we under the impression that he's been bad?
No, that's what we just debated.
I mean, but like,
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Do you have anything?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm curious about that, but I am more curious about the man in the mask because he looked truly saddened by Jay's death. So what's that relationship? Is that maybe that's why people think it's brothers? Maybe.
I think it's a possibility that Jay was good and didn't even know that Zoom is a Jay. I think that's a possibility. I know that's confusing, but like the Jay that's been with Barry, like he might not even know that the Zoom is really a guy who has his face.
Right.
Definitely true.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards right now.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Do we have any history of Jay before the explosion? I mean, we know that as far as we know, he was a scientist, and we know that when the particle accelerator exploded, Zoom appeared, but we don't have any additional background on him beyond that. And so, like, that kind of leads me to believe that maybe the good Jay is the copy and the Zoom is the original.
I could see what you're saying. If it is a copy situation.
Right.
Which I'm not certain it is.
Yeah.
Going off that, let's say the particle accelerator explodes, lightning strikes down on Jay. Like, following this logic, it could have, like, split him in half. And, like, they could have gone on in their lives with these new powers and not even known that another existed.
So therefore there would be three.
I guess.
3 Jays. So the Benchman, Zoom Jay, and Our Jay. But then we still don't know who the man in the mask is.
I mean...
Okay, maybe that...
Or woman with Adam's apple.
It's true. Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Well, maybe it's Barry's father. And it's not Jay at all.
A lot of people thought that Zoom might be Henry Allen.
I thought of that, and I was wrong.
Sorry for your loss.
I know.
People
I was really banking on that.
Okay.
people were just 100% convinced it was Daddy Allen.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
made so much sense.
Remember all those photoshopped pictures?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. We could talk about this forever. I think we got to move on to the episode.
Yeah.
If you insist.
It's
I
crazy
do
that this
insist.
was only 30 seconds of the
I
episode.
know.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But this is classic Flash. This is when they
know.
show Flash and then we go back and we see something and it's like, what? I
And
love
like
that.
Tauri said, they give you a bit of information and it only opens up like 5 more doors of questions.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
the episode starts though, and we're right where we ended with Caitlyn freaking out. Roxy with a shock face.
No.
Lay it on us.
Sorry, Watcher said Roxy, the man in the mask, is Earth 1J. So maybe at some point we took Earth 1J, put him as the man in the mask, replaced him. So Jay, at one point, our Jay was good Jay. Now Jay actually is bad Jay, that we think is good Jay.
I can't help
Crazy.
but think too about how Eobard
Yeah.
Thawne
Yeah.
took Harrison Wells' face. Like there is some
Yeah.
precedence for that.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and we're
true.
also
That's
in a
true.
universe where Supergirl exists, where Martian Manhunter exists, where shape-shifting exists. Like, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. We've had a shapeshifter on the show too.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, okay, so this episode though, Caitlyn is freaking out. I did not realize her like love and connection to Jay, but it makes sense.
Does it?
I mean, I saw it more afterwards, not when they're together. Like, you know, it's great. I saw more of their chemistry together when he was dead than when they're actually together.
I think it was a lot of the relationship was in her head too. Like not, it's not saying she made it up. I'm saying like where they could have gone in the future.
Right. I mean, yeah, she spent a lot of time, like, since the beginning of the season, she has been slowly opening up her heart, trying to, like, make something happen. He was a lot more hesitant about the whole thing, but she was very, I guess, she took a lot of initiative in terms of pursuing him.
Yeah.
And so to have someone who she likes dies again, I feel like it makes sense that she thinks that she's kind of cursed, or this, like, terrible person doomed to not have love ever again.
Technically, it's her third time it's happened
Yeah.
over just like a season and a half.
To be the downer of the situation, though, I totally think realistically, if this was my friend in life, I would say, oh my God, Caitlyn, I feel so bad for you. On this show, I don't have time for it. I do not have enough time for her crying over Jay to get screen time. We've got King Shark. We've got what's going on with Jay that we just were talking about. We've got Lila and Diggle on this episode. Caitlyn, I need you to hold your tears.
Well, I actually think she did a pretty good job of holding her tears. She was pretty. I mean, the whole her being ice cold. The majority of the episode, she was pretty stern and just trying to do her job. It wasn't really till the end when Cisco kept prodding her, and then she, became a
That's when I
bleeding
loved
heart.
her. That's when it was funny again, and that's when I wanted her to have airtime. I literally didn't have 1 minute for it.
Well, I think it was just to set up the joke about like her turning into Killer Frost, which might not even be a joke.
Yeah, but she was sad about the Jay thing, not angry. I would love to have seen her get so angry about Jay.
But like people get angry for like a reason.
I loved him. I loved him. Did you?
Damn, Roxy.
Again, as my friend, I'm so sorry, honey, on the show. Really?
Things are going down. It's war.
Yeah.
They ended the show pretty. She was certain that I'm not a metahuman, and Cisco seemed to like be convinced as well. Do we think we're putting Killer Frost to rest for a bit?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so too. But I liked how Cisco pretty much played the part of the fans in this episode, and he pretty much said everything we were thinking.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. How he kept bringing up how she might be Killer Frost. I was like, yeah, maybe she is. And because I think we'd all logically be thinking that.
I think it would be so whack if they made her Killer Frost. Is Barry Allen the Flash on Earth too? No. Reverb, all of them that we saw. I just think it would be so strange.
I agree, and I think her saying I'll never become like her is very much in character for her.
Yeah.
To say that and to not become like her.
Right.
And that is why, like, I'm thinking, like, maybe that she's, like, heartbroken again. They're using that as an excuse to, like, turn her evil. I don't know.
No.
I don't see that happening.
I don't know if I can talk more about it because I'm being so cold that the chat is saying that I'm being Killer Frost right now. So
I just love Caitlyn as a character. And Killer Frost or not, I would be sad to lose that character on the show.
Yeah.
because
agree.
she's a sympathetic character. We love that she is this heart and soul of the team.
Yeah.
That would be horrible if she was gone.
It would be a big loss.
Yeah.
Huge.
I'm not gonna lie though. I'm glad that Jay's gone. In that I think this will be a good opportunity for her to have an arc that isn't related to like someone that she's romantically involved with.
Yeah.
We'll see how quickly she becomes romantically involved with somebody else.
Do you have a hunch?
No.
Okay.
I just
Hashtag
think
Caitlyn Harry.
Okay.
No, she needs some alone time.
maybe twin J Earth 5.
Oh gosh.
That's my hunch.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting the time jump they employed in this episode.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I thought it was a great way because I was afraid this episode was just gonna be filler. Like the questions I had last week were like, we're just gonna automatically go after King Shark after all this stuff with Zoom. But I like the way they did it and how the episode was pretty much them coping with the fact that they kind of failed in stopping Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I enjoyed that. I kind of
Okay,
liked
good.
it.
I think that's great. I did not like it. It was just something that we've not done on the show before, and to have this like voiceover direct to the audience saying like, if this is what's happened and like we're still dealing with it. It was just like a very interesting device they've not used.
I felt the exact same way, Jeff. I don't know how I feel about
Right.
it. It happened, and okay. There was that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the same place as Michael in that, like,
thank
I felt like it was a good way to wipe the slate because we could have started where we left off, and it could have been a whole episode of them being like, how do we open the breaches? How do we like get back? And like, how do we do this? And so it would have been just spinning in circles. But like, we had the time. We've especially since they established that Barry and Cisco were just gonna bury their feelings.
Yes.
It gave us a good amount of time for them to kind of have those feelings stew and explode in this moment.
Yeah.
I agree. I think as a storytelling device, it was super necessary for this show because we would have got caught up in the emotions of Caitlyn and also having lost Jay and then Zoom and then leaving Disaster as well.
Yeah.
Very necessary at that point. The Killer Shark had been kept at Argus Labs. That's not an Arrow, correct?
Argus.
Yeah.
Not the labs. Argus is the organization that's over on Arrow. I don't know if we
yes.
saw. Oh yeah, I guess that's where Amanda Waller was.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they have an assortment of facilities throughout. Like, they have one on the island where the Arrow was formed, and they have different facilities to kind of store different weapons and things like that.
Oh,
I mean,
great.
they're basically like a shadow organization run by the government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like Diggle and Lila.
They were great.
Lila is all business.
Oh, yeah.
She's a badass.
It was great, and they weren't even utilized their full potential tonight, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I kind of loved that because this was just Flash saying, "Hey, P.S. We can cross over whenever we want to. we these characters are in our sandbox. We can play with them however we want. So if you're not watching Arrow, get on that because we're gonna keep it coming."
Yeah.
I know. I feel like they're telling me that every time.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm not an Arrow watcher, aside from crossovers.
Yeah.
Which is blasphemy, by the way, and I apologize.
I also liked that there's so much going on in Arrow right now that I like that we got the opportunity to kind of establish that, hey guys, by the way, Lila's taken over Argus. If you hadn't realized,
Yeah.
because that was left kind of as an open thread in the last time we saw her. But now it's official. We know that she has a lot of power, and she has her own storyline where she's basically cleaning up all these facilities and trying to do right using Argus, which is great.
Which is especially great because we hear tonight what her motives and plans are. That she isn't this person who wants to just take these metahumans and develop them into creatures and weapons. She wants to fix them and figure out how we did this. I loved that as opposed to obviously Amanda Waller, who didn't share that sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is annoying in general that she had to go because the movies took her from us.
I figured that's
Right.
why. Yeah.
Same with Deadshot, Deathstroke,
While
all of
we're
them.
discussing Arrow, there was a brief scene where Barry asked about Felicity and asked how she is. Mm-hmm. What is going on with Felicity?
Spoilers.
Oh, is that spoiler only?
I mean, it was a few weeks ago.
I mean, yeah.
I guess if you aren't watching and you want to know, listen. And if not, I'm gonna go like this when we're done talking about it. Okay.
If it's been 2 weeks, I want to hear about it.
It's been 3, I think.
About, yeah.
So Felicity was in some sort of an accident. I guess I'll call it that.
Yeah, she was in an accident.
Where she was hospitalized and no longer has the usage of her legs, so she's in a wheelchair.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I like her so much.
That's crazy.
But as of now, it's permanent.
Really?
Yes.
I did not.
Can they put like the bottom half of her in like the Lazarus pit?
Well,
You know what? That's actually
additional spoilers.
Is that
Yeah. Additional spoilers, because we're still in spoilers.
Yeah.
Lazarus Pit, no more.
It is no.
Yeah.
wow.
You know what? Felicity can still type. It's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's given her a more conflict as a character, and it's also given her some place to go in that, like, she is basically their oracle, which is really
Yeah,
nice.
but she has her own name.
I know. Overwatch.
With powers.
No.
No.
She just wanted a name.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they all have names now. Even
Call it
Diggle.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Diggle's name? What's Diggle's hero name?
Barton.
Let's
That's
do
not
the
bad.
we're
Okay, we're
ending-
back.
Okay, sorry.
And we're back.
And we are back. And spoilers.
Oh, I should have done that.
Oh, for sharks, yeah.
No.
No, okay, sorry.
What he does. Pull the heart out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that was more like, which is kind of like a shark
What did
too.
it say?
All right.
Jeff.
Cool.
Jeff.
Tell me
Sorry,
more.
sorry.
Tell me more. Does he have a
I
car?
will say this about what a reference. I will say this about Killer Shark.
King Shark.
Oh,
Yeah.
Killer Frost.
I'm
That's
combining.
Caitlyn
this
and
is
King
Killer
Shark's
Frost
baby.
and King Shark's baby.
Scary baby.
Exactly. This is their baby.
Oh my god, they would make the whole ocean frozen.
That would be the
They couldn't
craziest.
swim. They couldn't swim. This is the most monster-like villain we've seen on Arrow, I believe.
This and Grodd.
Yeah, Grodd was like just a gorilla, a massive gorilla, but a gorilla. This was a monster, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was amazing.
Honestly, like if there was in real life, if there was ever a villain that you would see in front of you, this is the one that would probably make you. It has the best chance of making me poop myself. Like I would legitimately, like, I was just like, oh my god, this is it. Like you know what I mean?
Paralyzed.
So in on
Yeah.
this. I wish that this could be our villain all season. I understand for budget purposes it might not be realistic, but he looked incredible. They did the best
good.
job. And at first we were keeping him dark, so I was like, oh man, he's probably not going to look that good. But then we slowed down those jumping shots,
Oh, yeah.
So
slaughter,
good.
and all of that. Oh my god, it was perfect. They did such a good job. This could have been on the big screen.
In the comic
yeah.
book touch of him in the pants also, King
Yeah.
Shark, that he was like wearing those still, like I thought it was awesome.
And then Wally's comment on that just hit it home, being
Yeah.
like, a shark, talking shark with pants. I mean, what the heck? So yeah, I loved it.
It also just like the most like comic book of the villains that we've like gone like leaning.
awesome.
You know, like Trickster is like wearing a like colorful costume and he's a human though, and this is just like half man, half shark.
Yeah.
I didn't know we would ever be able to go there.
Yeah, that's probably that steals everything. That's like the most shocking thing. I
Yeah.
never thought I'd see that.
Yeah, especially after last time when we saw King Shark and everybody said, "Oh, so short. Why do we have to do that? Oh, we're never going to see him again."
Yeah.
Fooled you once.
Yeah, I never thought like in terms just of budget. Like, when we were talking about the
Yeah.
budget, like
Oh,
I just
yeah.
didn't think they'd be able to afford it.
And I was like hypotheticalizing. That's a word, I promise. Hypothesizing that since they spent so much on King Shark originally, that maybe it was like less expensive to do this episode because
Yeah.
they already invested so much.
And they had the models and everything.
Yeah,
already.
and it's done.
Yeah.
I just like TV can like sometimes get away with like lesser special effects, and this one did not take advantage of that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was also kind of like ripped and looked sick with the movement.
And
from side to side.
I'm glad we got a full on fight though compared to last week's. Well, I mean not with Zoom, but the last week's fight with the
Geo guy.
the Geo guy.
yeah,
it was
yeah,
just so
Geomancer.
boom boom, it's over. Like here we got an epic water battle, an epic chase down. It was real. Like I would rewatch this. I didn't DVR it, but I should. I'm probably gonna YouTube it.
I know.
Sergio says King Shark equals Kool-Aid Man, which is so
Yes.
accurate.
Yes,
great.
That was great.
Incredible.
That was their other baby.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, this is something that I'm reading into, but I want to get your guys' take on it. The guy on Earth who, Earth One's King Shark counterpart, the guy who died,
Yeah.
Shay
Shay Landon.
Yeah, Shay
Lambkin.
Landon.
We went and saw his wife, and she gave us some information, and then later on in the episode, they mentioned her one more time to Diggle and Lila, and said you should go talk to her again. And I just think that for the purposes of this episode, those scenes, she didn't actually give us any information.
You completely read my mind. She must have a character arc coming.
Right.
Because there was no reason to introduce her or even introduce the fact that there was an Earth 1 version of King
agreed.
Shark. So something is coming. There's no way they wasted screen time on that.
Well, and the only purpose for it in this episode was to have like Caitlyn be a little bit more icy. But I just cannot believe that they would write these scenes with her if it means nowhere.
I figured it was mostly so that at the end they could be like, hey, you have a head start on curing him, and also there's someone who has an invested interest in doing so. I think that was the only thing, because otherwise they'd just be like, yep, you're gonna cure him, good luck.
To cure King Shark?
Yes.
But I thought he was dead. Did he survive the lightning bolts?
He survived,
King Shark's alive, yeah.
And so Argus is gonna try to cure him.
That's Barry's whole thing. Barry doesn't like to kill.
Yeah.
Well, I think
probably
if
a
you're
pipeline.
throwing a massive lightning bolt into something in water,
Electrocuted him.
yeah, that usually kills people.
Not sharks, maybe.
Really? So they said he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
Oh, I missed that.
Guys, this is a really fun one. A bunch of people in here are talking about it. Yvonne Soto once said Grodd versus King Shark would be amazeballs. Who do you guys think would win?
That would be epic. I'd go Grodd because Grodd's smarter.
It's like brains versus brawn.
Well,
Literally.
Grodd could mind control King Shark, but King Shark would just be like,
That's a good point too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Can he? But
I
can
don't
he
know.
mind control him? Mostly because King Shark is all instinct. It's not like he has higher thought functioning. So he can.
Sorry, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Instinct, as well as like short little lines like "You may be fast, but you can not faster than me in water."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Barry's
he's
like,
got those
"P.S. I am."
one-liners.
He was like reading it out of the comic book entirely. I'm sorry, I cut you off though.
No. I mean, it's true though. But I personally think that King Shark would win because one, he's bigger, and two, like he was fast enough to knock the Flash while he was running, and also I think that he would just bite Grodd's head off.
Oh, okay.
I could see that.
I also could see Grodd not being able to mind control him.
People in here were saying that his love for Caitlyn would overcome and he would have to mind control and overpower him to take the victory. To show off for his lady.
Of course.
Oh man. Speaking of the ladies, let's do a special segment called "Why the heck is nobody listening to Jessie Quick?"
Oh my god! I am! I'm so excited this week! No, seriously, I love Jessie now that she wants to help. Be a team player. You go, girl. Stop whining and do something.
Yeah, she was moving.
I don't blame her. Nobody's listening to her. We set her up last time as the smartest person in the room. Smarter than Harrison
Now they are.
Harrison Wells.
And
Probably
maybe
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps breaking his arms. No, Harrison Wells. And then you're just ignoring her? Bring her in the room. You need all the help you can get. Where's Jessie Quick?
I could see why Harrison ignored it at first, only because he's protective of his daughter. I'm guessing that's why it was.
But they're in Star Labs. They're safe.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Well, he, yeah.
Just kidding.
But she did win him over because by the end they were very, father daughter duo team.
Love
You know?
that.
There was even a moment where she said something and Cisco was like, "Yeah, I did it already."
Well, that's because she was giving him she was razzing him.
Yeah.
I think it's because they've all been
Razzing.
What year? I love it, Tauri.
They've all been working together, mostly to try to save her. So up until now, she's been kind of their damsel. So like trying to integrate her into the group wasn't really their first thought. Is my explanation for it.
Yeah, I could see that. I also think we're overestimating how smart the group thinks she is. That we hear, okay, she's smart, but somebody corrected me last week and said she's 15.
What?
So if that's the truth, little high schooler, little
that's
girl.
true.
Right.
Which also debunks my Cisco theory.
the romance.
Well, but I still see it coming so much. However, if she's 15,
Yeah.
Maybe she comes back from the future.
yeah, maybe she's not actually 15.
I need clarification, like written down, of her age.
Yeah, maybe you guys can help us out in here. But there was that one moment with her and Cisco today. And she, they snap back at each other for a second.
That's not gonna happen.
I saw the
Roxy,
fireworks.
I just-
They have the
they're not
same
dating.
haircut. They can bond over that.
Yeah, no.
So isn't she a speedster in the comics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Liberty Bell's daughter?
The new show says that she's 21. When did we hear how old
No, I
she
think
was?
she's. I could swear she's in her teens.
Okay.
I don't remember a specific time, but I could swear she's in her teens.
I don't remember ever hearing anything about her age, and I feel like that would have stood out to us.
Maybe.
Well, she said she had to go see her friends. Maybe it was because that seemed pretty adolescent.
They're all going to the sock hop.
18. Ron says, wait, we can't get clarification on this, so maybe it never was said. Vern wants us to know that Henry Cavill's 32 and dating a 19-year-old, not quite relevant.
Oh,
but
guys,
thank
come
you.
on. Is it really that? Damn, Henry.
I have questions about that, actually.
Yeah, that's a.
At the very end, when Barry was confessing that he went back in time to save his mom, albeit unsuccessfully, did no one know about that beforehand?
No, they knew.
No, I think he was just saying that, like, he was just saying that that was the one thing that set everything off, because he made that agreement with Eobard so that they could, which ultimately caused them to open up the rift, which caused Joe to die and all that stuff. So it was just a domino effect, is what he was saying.
Oh, I see. I thought it was good that they brought up the fact that Zoom is still on Earth 1 or 2 terrorizing it.
Finally.
We needed that acknowledgement.
I'm still on this Jesse thing, guys. I can't let it go. I don't mean to
I'm
bring
sorry.
us back, but I'm in the chat right now, and everybody's saying that we heard on Earth 2 she's in college. So if you're in college, you got to be 18. I'm waiting for when we heard that. And then Tauri, sorry, I didn't mean to take you off your point. I'm love stricken by her and Cisco, so you know I'm all consumed.
It could have been
good,
grad.
yeah.
It could have been college or grad school, even though.
Yeah, but okay, even if she's 18, I'm chill. Like, just let her be legal.
Yeah.
Chill enough for us to like move on, or like
Yeah,
should
chill
I
enough
stay
for us to
there?
move on. All right, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
What were you gonna say, Tari?
I don't even remember. What even are we talking about, everyone?
I'm talking about. I'm talking about the effect that going to Earth 2 had on Barry specifically, and how much guilt he feels, and how at the disaster he literally
The
left.
speech she gave and all of that is what.
Yeah.
The stairway speech, when he was sitting down, he confessed, and pretty much everyone's ignoring Harry by telling everyone about their doppelgangers. And when Barry confesses to Iris and them about seeing their doppelgangers, the whole episode I thought Barry was very, very emo. But when he did that, I was like, okay, I'd be depressed too.
Yeah.
Like I liked how they showed what was heavy on him.
Yeah, and I thought that scene was amazing. I thought his acting was amazing.
Sorry,
in that scene.
which scene are you talking about now? The final one or the one with Joe?
Before the
and-
final
with
one, with Joe and
Iris.
Iris.
The Joe and Iris
With the
one.
roof torn off.
I loved that speech. Thought that was incredible when he was telling them about everything, and it was really interesting to see Iris's reaction when he mentioned that they were married.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. The other speech that you mentioned, Jeff, I thought was so weird. Very strange, especially as Wells looks at him and says, "How?" And he says, "I don't know how."
But next time I'll beat him.
Yeah. So, like, I get the inspirational aspect of it, but I kind of need us to start knowing how a little bit. You know?
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, as of now, they have zero indication how we're ever going to go back to Earth 2 or ever meet Zoom again. You know, like the way Harrison was talking with like the Quark matter, like
Right.
it seems like fairly definite as of now.
Yeah.
Clearly that can change, but just like I don't see where that's going.
Though they are planting the seed with Cisco working on Reverb's glasses, so that might be their gateway, at least into seeing through it, if not like pushing through.
Tari, I know you caught this too. Speaking of Cisco working on things, his one moment with Diggle
yeah.
and the helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Diggle's like, it could use a little work.
It needs a back. It's like from here on.
AKA, Diggle has a helmet that Cisco made for him, and some fans have been kind of crapping on it a little bit. So when he says, "How's your helmet?" he says, "Could use a little work." Total homage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's how I took it, at least.
I thought you were going to mention Cisco's Godzilla shirt, which like looked faintly reminiscent to King Shark.
You notice all the shirts.
I know,
I
that's
never
crazy.
noticed them. Jeff's got the eye.
It was actually a really cool shirt because it was King Koopa as like a Godzilla.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
I don't even know how you guys saw that. I was too, I don't know, busy watching the show.
They did a
We
zoom
have
in on it.
glasses.
He kept doing this.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to what Michael was saying about the Iris scene.
Yeah.
Finding out about the marriage, I was not expecting them to ever talk about that.
Me neither.
That's a long conversation.
I know that is.
But yet it seemed kind of comfortable and not like, ew. She was like, oh, we were married?
Like, I'm married to my brother?
No, that's
know,
exactly what I'm
but-
saying. It didn't seem like Michael. It seemed like, oh, okay, that seems normal. Like, if I have a brother, and if he told me he went to an alternate universe and we were married, I would vomit on the floor.
Well, I think maybe they're trying to establish, like, oh, we're not brother and sister?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
That I thought that this was a really strong moment for them as a couple to see her reaction and have her not feel the way that I feel about my brother, or how any of you guys would feel about your siblings. I
You
would
think
assume.
it's planting a seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there were so many parts in the show this episode where they kept calling each other family.
Right.
So, like...
And I think that's the key that the producers never banked on. They cast Jesse Tyler... They cast what's his name?
Who are you talking about?
Jesse L. Martin?
Jesse L. Martin.
Okay.
I was gonna say Jesse. Okay. They cast Jesse. Excuse me.
Jesse Tyler.
I have a
Martin.
lot of TV shows in my head. They cast Jesse L. Martin as Joe West, and he's phenomenal. He's potentially the heart of the show. I think he's one of my favorite characters, and I don't think they maybe predicted how much we'd love him, and part of that is his father relationship to Iris and his father relationship to Barry, and those scenes are amazing. And when you have like a father to the same person, you're a brother sister for life.
I agree with you until that final comment, because I think what the show is trying to say right now is Joe is absolutely Barry's father. And he's of course Iris's father, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're siblings. They're family, but I think that they're trying to avoid going forward the usage of the word brother and sister.
Okay.
Just son, father. So that if it does happen, we don't feel like that ickiness in our stomach, like, ooh, weird.
Yeah. And even if you marry, because your father-in-law is still father. Still your family, technically.
Right.
True.
Yeah, but it's harder to enter a relationship with somebody like that, knowing that if you break up, it's going to make every interaction going forward awkward.
Yeah.
Every holiday. Every Friday night family dinner, you know?
Yeah.
No more awkward than any other family occasion, though. Just me? Okay, cool.
I'm like,
Who are you dating, Tauri?
But rolling it back a little bit.
Sure.
Like, I felt like her understated response was because this isn't her first rodeo with hearing that her and Barry are getting married. Like, she saw, or at least heard about, the newspaper from the future.
That's
So
true.
this is the second time that someone's like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but you guys would make a great couple.
Yeah.
You know?
And she knows he liked her before.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it possible?
Oh, I can't see this.
Possible.
I hate to say this, that Joe West will die.
I thought he was going to die at the
and
end of
what
season
helps
1.
bring them together
I hope not.
is their death of their father.
I 100% thought that's what was going to happen. It's something a little bit similar to what happened in season 1 of Arrow. So that's what I thought was originally going to happen to Flash. Kill a big character in the final season 1 episode, but it didn't. I think a lot of it has to do with what you said, Jeff, about people not knowing how much they were going to love this character.
Yeah.
If he did die, this show would forever be changed.
Massively.
But I don't know if for the better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I refuse to
Right.
acknowledge that.
I just wonder if that calamity would bring them together and then find that love.
Are you talking about romantically now?
Yeah, I'm saying like the death of their father, getting over that and grieving with each other and building a romantic relationship in that sense.
Right. I mean, his being in danger was the thing that got them to kiss the first time.
Yeah.
Though I would say that they've already basically expended the Joe death card by killing him in Earth 2.
You think so?
I feel like it, because now if they do it, it'll be just like a rehashing or a pale comparison.
He took it pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, Joe was like, oh.
I died.
Cool.
I don't think I agree with that.
Really?
I think it still would mean a lot to the viewers and to me, certainly too. Because that, although while it was an Earth 2 Joe West, and it's a Joe West, it still mattered less to me because I knew we wouldn't have to deal with repercussions. Because we were leaving Earth 2 selfishly.
On the flip side of that, if we're killing characters, if we killed off Iris, it would bring Barry and Wally together more, maybe. Although I don't want to do that because Iris is such a staple for many reasons.
Yeah.
Not that I want to kill Joe either.
Yeah.
I can hear the fans already yelling that you mentioned killing off Iris.
And bringing Earth
Not-
to Iris, of course, guys.
Yeah.
What-
Oh my god.
That's actually not that bad.
When Barry told Joe West that he was a lounge singer in Earth One, his face lit up so much. I loved it. He was like, really?
I wanted him to start singing here, like taking lessons.
Yeah.
I can do it.
I have a new future plan. We gotta move to the Wally Barry saga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys predicting a rivalry?
Yes.
Or are you talking?
Oh God,
Really?
yes. Oh, and I'm for it. I think that'd be so awesome. Like them going back and forth, and then if he gets the powers, they're trying to one up one another.
Right. I mean, that would be really fun.
Yeah, because Grant plays competitive really well. When he gets super like, oh, you can't beat me against these villains, he plays it really, really well.
Yeah.
So I think it'd go really good against Wally.
Yeah. No. Good.
It would also be reason for them to be faster, increase their speed if they're doing all of that.
Roxy, you're talking to me right now.
Yeah, with Wally being
I am.
literally with Wally being an engineer, is it a potential that he could be a speedster with like technology and it's like man-made?
I was actually thinking about that because that would be a really interesting way of kind of putting him in the speedster realm without like dosing him or having him do some kind of like accident.
Yeah.
If he was like a self-made speedster where he used these turbines that he's made a suit that essentially anything he ate would convert it into like speed force or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I agree, Tauri. That'd
A couple
be awesome.
comics have like a Flash who is like technology based, but not that my knowledge is massive. I've never seen them combine the two.
Right.
It would be interesting to see this metahuman Flash, Barry Allen, with like technology and like having that match each other. That's like a weird thing.
I just don't
I'd
want
accept
it to be.
I'd like that.
I just don't want it to be all rivalry. I do want to see some sibling love here. Like brothers that kind of have that sibling rivalry, but truly deep down care about each other. That I'm chill with. But if they just start hating each other, I don't want to watch that.
I agree.
I get that.
It could be established through the rivalry. Like the rivalry, then their love for one another could be established through a very intense rivalry where maybe a great tragedy brings them together. I guess what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I hope not though. In terms of tragedy, I don't want Joe to die. Like,
No, of course.
I take that really hard.
And I think, but for like, they're trying to build a family, and they're like you build that on honesty and trust, and they're hoping that Wally's going to be around for a while. I just don't understand why they didn't tell him that Barry's the Flash.
That, but more, I feel like the bigger thing to tell him that I can't believe we didn't tell him until now is that Barry's mom's dead and his dad was wrongfully imprisoned. Like Joe opened up about that tonight. Did Wally never say, why is Barry living with you? Why is he your son?
I just
Just
assumed
curious.
that happened off camera.
Same. So,
Yeah.
so yes, they should tell him that he's a Flash, but definitely they should also explain how he exists in their lives.
I know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Totally weird.
Yeah, I will say that their scenes together, though, was a nice reminder about how smart Barry is. Like, powers aside, this is a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
But I did kind of get where Wally was coming from at some points, though, because a lot of people in the chat and I saw online have been calling Wally incredibly whiny. And I don't think
Really?
it's fair to just judge him like that because Barry is the trophy child and all of these great things. And then when he's getting Barry's help and Barry's kind of shutting down every single thing, it's kind of annoying. So I see why Wally was a little upset. Even though I think Barry's just trying to help.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it was clear, too, that, like, Barry didn't know how to give feedback. He just goes with
Yeah.
the negatives,
Yeah.
you know?
Right, know-it-all.
And he was in a tough spot, mentally, with everything with Earth 2 and Zoom. He wasn't exactly in the best place in his mind to really,
Yeah.
give warm, constructive criticism.
Right.
Yeah, and, like, Wally's trying hard to, like, find this family, and he's still dealing with the, like, death of his own
That's
mother.
true.
Who is, like, so important to him.
Of course.
Poor Wally.
A.M. Hardwick wants to know, why would you tell Wally Barry's secret identity? What do you guys think?
I think they're waiting for Barry to do it. It's up to Barry.
I would tell him because he's a member of the family. And it's not like a fleeting cousin who's like visiting for a bit. I think that Wally's going to have a major presence in their lives. And I think he would be so upset to find out later that you kept a secret from me. And then there was also that weird moment of like him nagging on Barry, being like, "You left during this disaster," when they were like, "No, he was out in the street fighting."
Right.
So it just didn't makes sense to me to tell him.
Yeah. And I guess I'm in between. I think they have to wait until he's ready. Like, I think that through these little interactions, they're kind of priming him, not like the characters, but the writers, so that when the reveal happens, it's more natural. Whereas, like, right now, especially since he was being kind of antagonistic towards Barry, they would have never been able to establish a relationship if, on top of thinking that Barry was perfect, he found out that Barry was also a superhero.
Very true, Tauri. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not just perfect. He's also the Flash, who, by the way, you think is really cool.
And you also said couldn't walk on water, but ends up running on water. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought this episode was awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Let's move to some predictions. We are coming back March 22nd.
I know.
What just happened?
We have another break. We just had a break.
I know.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Everyone in here wants us to continue to talk about Zoom predictions. There was one in here earlier that I thought was kind of cool I could share.
Tell us your favorite.
That maybe Jay Garrick in the helmet is Jay Garrick and it's Jay from the future. So maybe we've got some time travel going on, not multiple Jays, but maybe it was a future version.
Oh, and then he got trapped.
Something like that.
Yeah. Which is also why it would complicate things, because if Jay's dead in the past.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
That's why there could be some complications. So I like that prediction. Sorry that I don't remember who said it to give you credit.
Yeah.
So I'll just steal it for my own.
That was a great prediction, Roxy.
Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much.
good. You're so
I try
smart,
really hard
girl.
on these things, you know. Now that I'm blonde, I've got all the smarts up here.
If you're listening, Roxy's blonde-ish. Yeah, I don't know. The Man in the Iron Mask. I don't have any like inkling to who it could be.
What about Jessie getting her speedster stuff though?
I don't think she's gonna get it this season.
We have didn't we just say we have a female speedster? Oh my god, we have female
Next,
speedster.
the newest episode, but I
March
didn't think it was
22nd.
Jessie.
No, I don't think it's Jessie.
You know, her hair was pulled back, I thought, so it could have been her.
We're
was
gonna have
fairly
a
dark.
female speedster that isn't Jessie.
Right.
It could be.
That would be weird.
It could be that Earth's Jesse Quick.
They're
Jessie
closed up though. Oh,
No, our Earth.
one.
It could be
Our
Earth
Earth,
one's Jesse Quick. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fine as long as it's a version of Jessie. If we have Wally and Jay and Barry and Jessie, and now we're bringing a third female speedster, or
Well, I just
fourth,
kind of
fifth, whatever.
assumed that it was a fast person who's female, and like for the sake of like the preview, they called it a speedster. I don't know that it actually is a speedster.
Okay.
Maybe she motivates Jesse. It's like, oh, I can aspire. Like someone's watching Beyonce. Like, you see Michelle. Like, I can be this.
But you know, they're gonna need to give us a lot more Jessie like in on the action to make us like her a lot more if they're gonna keep her around as a speedster.
Yeah, at least she's growing on me though. We're going in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did have that one annoying comment early on, being like, "Why am I here?" What did she say? It was annoying. Something.
Well, I remember when she was like, "Wait,
Why is
we're
the
trapped here?"
Yeah, that's exactly.
yeah.
Why
like,
are we trapped here? Oh my god, Jessie.
And then she straightened out.
Sometimes I wondered too, like we always talk about Felicity on the Arrow, that everyone loved her so much, and so they brought her back, and now she's a massive role in the show. I kind of wonder too if like they bring in a Jessie Quick, and if we don't actually take to her that much, if they just kind of like write her off.
Everyone in the chat is saying it's not Jessie. Trajectory. She was announced earlier. It's not Jessie.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
a lot of speed.
Ah, sweet.
We're going fast.
We are. Does anybody have any more burning predictions?
I think the guy in the mask is the father from that Earth. And I know it's a basic thing to go with, but I'm trying to stick with my father being somewhere. The father he's one of them. He's something.
Why do you think he would be there?
I just can't. I don't think he's Jay again. Another Jay in the mask. But I don't know. I didn't think Zoom would be Jay.
I mean, you know, he was working with heavy water. Water has 3 parts. That's 2 H's and 1 O. Am I right?
And
You
on,
are right. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well
on
done, Tauri.
that note, you are correct. Guys, tell everybody where they can find you till next time. We can continue the conversation about the Jays.
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
You can find me at Tauri J, TaurijAY.
Our favorite Jay.
Oh, yeah.
You can find me at Micheal_Drew, Michael EAL.
And I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. Guys, we'll be back on March 22nd. See you then. Good night.
Next month.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.